Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Let's talk about what might be one of the most intriguing and potentially game-changing rumors swirling around the NFL right now. Garrett Wilson possibly heading to the Washington Commanders from the New York Jets. This is not just some idle speculation. It's a story that could reshape the landscape of the NFC East. And for us Commanders fans, it's a development that might take our offense to a whole new level. So buckle up, because what's happening behind the scenes is as exciting as it gets. The Jets, currently sitting at 3-8, are clearly at a crossroads. Their defense has been leaking points at a record pace, allowing an average of 28. 4 points per game, and with the recent retirement rumors surrounding Aaron Rodgers, their cap situation is tighter than ever, only about $12 million in free space. That's not enough to keep their high-profile players happy, especially with the looming deal for Garrett Wilson, who's been a bright spot in their passing game. Wilson, drafted in 2022 and only in his third NFL season, has shown flashes of being a true game-changer. With 280 catches, over 500 yards, and 12.5 yards per reception, he's proven he can stretch the field and make big plays. His yards after catch, averaging 5.2 yards per reception, highlight his ability to turn short catches into explosive gains, and he's been especially effective in contested catch situations, converting about 50% of those opportunities. Wilson's average depth of target, ADOT, is around 13. 2 yards, making him a deep threat, and his separation rate of 84% shows he's not easily covered. His stats for 2024 are impressive. PFF grade of 89.2, with a career differential of +6 turnovers, and he's drawn 40 big-time throws, which speaks volumes about his ability to make clutch plays when the team needs him most. What makes this potential trade even more captivating is Wilson's recent performance. In 2025, he's played 11 games, with 62 receptions on 88 targets for 850 yards, averaging 13.7 yards per catch, and scoring 7 touchdowns. He missed a game in Week 5 with a shoulder injury that limited him. But even with the injury, he contributed to the Jets' passing efficiency, which has actually improved by around 16% this season. He's a player who can quickly change the dynamic of any offense, and Washington's offense could certainly use that kind of firepower, especially with the current issues they've faced, like the absence of Jahan Dotson, who's dealing with a shoulder injury and is questionable for Week 13, and Jonathan Daniels, who's out for about 6 weeks after a dislocated elbow. Wilson's speed and route-running ability could be exactly what the Commanders need to elevate their aerial attack. Now, why would the Jets consider parting ways with such a talented receiver? Well, the cap situation is a major factor. They need to free up space, and Wilson's deal, which is projected to be around $12 million, is a candidate for a trade. Plus, with their focus on rebuilding their secondary and shoring up their defense, it makes sense to reallocate resources. As Adam Schefter mentioned, the Jets are looking at options, and Wilson's name has been floating around as a premium trade asset. The Jets are also trying to rebuild their defensive backfield, which has been a weak spot, allowing big plays and struggling to contain opposing offenses. For Washington, acquiring Garrett Wilson could be nothing short of transformative. Pairing him with Jahan Dotson, when healthy, would create a nightmare for defenses. Wilson's speed, like a razor-sharp scalpel, would inject fresh life into our deep passing game, and his ability to win contested catches could help us dominate in the red zone. Imagine Wilson running those deep routes on 3rd and long, stretching defenses, and then making clutch catches in tight coverage. His 84% separation rate indicates he's always a threat to get open, even against top-tier defenders. His presence would also allow us to diversify our offense, making it easier for Sam Howell to distribute the ball and create mismatches. If we look at the numbers, Wilson's impact would be significant. His projected yards per game, around 1,200 yards, would boost our total offensive production substantially. Currently, the team is averaging about 900 yards through the air, but with Wilson, that could easily jump to over 1,100 yards, giving us one of the most explosive aerial attacks in the league. His route running and ability to generate yards after the catch would also help us extend drives, especially on third down. And with Dotson possibly missing more time, Wilson's vertical threat would be vital for keeping our offense moving and scoring consistently. From a strategic standpoint, this move would also help in our red zone efficiency. Wilson's ability to make contested catches and win in tight spaces could push our red zone touchdown rate from around 58% to over 75%. That's a game changer, especially in close games where every possession counts. Plus, his threat deep down the field would open up more underneath routes for other receivers, creating mismatches and confusion for opposing defenses. All of this, combined with Howell's improving chemistry with the receivers and an offensive line that's been working to rebuild after some struggles, signals that the Commanders could be on the cusp of a major offensive upgrade. Now, some fans might be skeptical about the Jets trading away such a promising young receiver, especially considering his proven production and potential. But the NFL is all about strategic moves and cap management, and sometimes teams need to make tough decisions. The Jets are in a rebuild mode, and clearing Wilson's salary could give them flexibility to address other needs, like bolstering their secondary or adding more depth along the defensive line. It's also worth noting that the Jets' offense has been somewhat inconsistent, and they need to focus on building around their core, which might not include Wilson in the long term if they're planning to rebuild from the ground up. For us Commanders fans, this potential acquisition is more than just adding another talented receiver. It signals a shift, a bold move to push our team into a new era of explosive offense. Wilson's speed, route running, and ability to make big plays could be the piece that finally elevates our passing game to elite status. With Howell developing and the rest of the offense improving, adding a player like Garrett Wilson could be the spark that ignites our Super Bowl aspirations. And let's not forget, Wilson's presence on the field would also boost morale and confidence, knowing we have a game-breaking talent capable of changing the outcome on any given play. Looking ahead, if the trade goes through, it would be a statement from the Commanders that we're serious about competing, about pushing past the mediocrity, and about making a run in the NFC. The NFC East has always been a fiercely contested division, and with teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all vying for supremacy, making bold moves like acquiring Wilson could be the difference maker. It would also send a message to other teams and players that Washington is committed to building a championship-caliber squad, not just with solid defense and running game, but with dynamic, game-changing receivers who can take over games. Of course, fans will have their opinions, and some might say that trading away draft picks or cap space isn't always the smartest move. But in today's NFL, sometimes you have to swing for the fences, especially if it means upgrading an offense that's been somewhat inconsistent this season. Howell has shown promise, and with a deep threat like Wilson, the sky's the limit. We could see a surge in offensive productivity, more big plays, and a team that's finally hitting its stride at the right moment of the season. The NFC is wide open, and the Commanders could be on the verge of a major breakthrough if this move materializes. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the possibility of Garrett Wilson joining our team? Do you think it's the move that could finally push us into serious Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the team, and it's always exciting to see how you guys feel about these big stories. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is an exciting time for us, and the future looks bright if we keep making bold moves like this one. Let's go, Commanders!